Guys, welcome back to our channel. My name's Megan.
And I'm Nick, and today what we'll be doing is building our little Green Day gecko, Gary, the mansion he truly deserves. Gary's about 4 months old right now, and it's time for an upgrade.
But before we get into the video, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on that bell notification so you're updated on when all our videos post.
Okay, so this is Gary's current enclosure. It is a 12 by 12 by 18 high. And yeah, he's getting a pretty sizable upgrade to the 36 by 18 by 36. But this is Gary's little home right now. He's got his heat lamp and his UVB, a good little plant in there, his bioactive dirt, of course. So that's what he's in right now, and can't wait to see him in the big one.
Okay guys, as you just saw in our little time lapse, we just figured out what Gary's dream tank is going to be. A lot of this stuff we've never tried before, but it looks really awesome and I'm really excited to see how it works out. So over here we have these magnetic planters. These are one of our new features we've never tried, but we got two little plants just to stick right in there. The other new feature is this driftwood. We recently saw in a Chandler's Wildlife video that he just siliconed where the wood meets the glass. And what we used to do is cover the entire interior with the Great Stuff foam and then would adhere coconut fiber to it. But we think this is a lot simpler and will look a lot cleaner, so we're excited to try it. Another new thing we're trying is we found these plastic planters and we're going to have hanging plants. Two of them right here, so then they'll just hang down and he'll have lots of foliage and coverage. And then lastly we have his food bowl over here. Again, it's a new magnetic that we've never tried, but it'll be right under his hot spot, so we think he'll really enjoy it.
Okay, so here we are in the morning now. It's been, I don't know, 10 hours or so. And so you can see that the foam not only expands, but it completely holds our wood in solid. So this stuff isn't going anywhere. But now what we're gonna do, see how it's shiny? You take a razor blade, you trim it down.
This is the aftermath after we've shaved everything down. As you can see over here, it's still a little wet inside of here, so we're going to go back in and foam that and let that sit for a little bit longer, but we're pretty happy with how the rest of this turned out. As you can see, we just shaved off this little shiny part, as Nick said earlier, to make sure you have all the holes that the silicone will adhere to, especially up here. Some people get really in depth on how to texture it and how to shave it smooth, but we go more the rough approach just because we feel once you put the liner on it kind of doesn't matter anyway. So yeah.
Okay gang, so what we have here is our coconut liner. And what I've done, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it into pieces like this and just kind of come over and just see how they fit. Maybe something like that. And then what I'll do is I'll get my silicone and I'll spread our silicone here, stick it to it, and then it'll adhere right there. And you have a very natural looking background now. That's it. So here's how we found that was better way to do this, was to just put the silicone on thick like this and then place it where we need to place it.
Alright, here's how the final product turned out as far as the coconut liner goes. We're both super happy with this process. It was very simple, very efficient, especially with the two of us working on it. So we think it looks awesome. Our next step is going to be put in our dirt, put in our planters, and then we're going to wait about a week to put our little Gary in just to make sure all the silicone and great stuff foam has dried. As you can see, there's a few little holes, but we just siliconed extra fiber over top after we saw it standing up, just to make sure that it was all covered. Okay, so right now we're going to get his planters ready to be filled, so they need drainage holes in the bottom. So just taking a soldering iron we got off of Amazon, you're just going to make 6 holes. It's so satisfying to do this. My favorite step of the process. So like I said, just 6 holes. They don't have to be perfect. And then we're doing 1 right in the middle. And then it's good to go.
Alright, so now that we have our tank laid out the way we want, we have everything set, the silicone is still setting. What we're going to do now is we're going to follow the Bio Dude's Terra Fauna, which is what you use for a giant green day gecko. We're going to follow everything he sends. He sends a kit, and this is a kit for the 36 by 18 by 36 exoteric. So what we're going to put down first is the Hydro Grow, which is the drainage. So what you're going to do is just going to open this up, dump it all in. Oh, that's nice. And honestly, what I love about this is it's not even dusty. That is the best part about this. I didn't even rinse it. Those are our birds in the background. We will give you an introduction to them soon. So all I do now is I kind of just try to even it out as best I can. And then what he does, when you order one of the kits, you get the separation. So what this does is just separates your dirt from the rocks and the drainage layer, and it allows it just to pass through without mixing everything up. And of course, it fits perfectly. So now what we're going to do, now that we have our drainage layer and the separator, I'm going to put in our Terra Fauna. And if you guys go to his YouTube page, he has a whole, I mean, he'll explain the biology behind all this and why everything works the way it does. And it, like I said, it's all worked for me, so I'm very happy with it. So you put that in. So what I like to do is just spread this around now. And I'm going to give this a good misting. You can pour water directly in it if you'd like to. It's up to you. So now, what we're going to do is his bio shot. Sends this with every kit. Sprinkle it in there. And then now, remix it up all again. Like this. And then, we're going to take our sphagnum moss that comes with it. So what I do is I just push it down, take some water, fill it up, because you want that sphagnum moss to really absorb a lot of water. This helps with the humidity. So if you live somewhere like, I don't know, the Midwest or something like that, where it'll get dry for seasons and things like that, you're going to need this. If you live in a super high humid area anyway, you might not need this, but it's not going to hurt anything. So you kind of just let it absorb some water, dump it in. Now so this is part of his biodegradables, and now why that's important is once you put in your springtails and your isopods, they're going to feed on this, and it just helps with the natural cycle of a tank and breaking everything down and just trying to make it that complete bioactive, which everybody talks about. So I'm just gonna kind of mix this in. Like I said, it's gonna help with the humidity. So put that in there. Spread it out a little bit. Alright, there we go. Now, what I'm gonna do is, from one of my other tanks I took out some springtails, and I think there's a couple isopods in there. But for now I'm mainly just worried about springtails. I'm definitely gonna dump in my isopods probably in about a week before Gary gets in there. It's not a big deal. So now what I'm gonna do is I'll put down our leaf litter. So now this right here, this is your basic setup. You can mix in the leaf litter if you'd like to. Like I said, your microfauna is just gonna feed on this stuff. So your springtails and isopods, they're gonna eat this leaf litter as it goes. And in some of my other tanks, you could definitely see that they have chowed on some leaf litter and some sphagnum moss. So what we're gonna do now that this is all set up, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start planting our plants. Okay, so what we did now was we actually planted his bottom layer. We washed the plants off a little bit, and just to make sure it's safe for him. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna plant our two big planters and then our 2 little planters. So we're gonna do that, and then we'll check back in with you guys. Okay, so what we did here was we actually planted in our magnetic plant holders. Like I said, this is the first time we're trying this out, so I'll see how the plants do in this, and I'm actually really excited to see what happens.
And here she is. We have our hot spot over here. We have 2 full plants that Gary can hide in. His little food dish and his little planters with his floor plants and bioactive dirt. So right now we're trying to figure out the best way to get Gary from his little tank into his mansion. And what we're kind of thinking is taking this cork tube and trying to lure him into it, and then closing off both ends and running it over real quick.
Come on, buddy.
Okay, we got him in his cork tube, and now we're going to put him in his mansion and just wait until he comes out on his own. Thanks so much for watching our video about our build for our little Gary.
I really hope that this inspired you guys to do something awesome for your reptiles.
If you guys have any questions about how we did our build, make sure to leave those in the comments below.
And please like and subscribe.